I trust you, Lord. I trust you, Lord.
Genesis chapter 11. Beginning at verse number 1. Genesis chapter 11, beginning at verse number 1. Are we there? Amen. I'm reading from the New King James Version, or New International Version, excuse me. It says, now the whole world had one language and a common speech. As men moved eastward, they found a plain in Shinar and settled there. They said to each other, come, let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly. They used brick instead of stone and tar for mortar. Then they said, come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves and not be scattered over the face of the whole earth. All right. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower that the men were building. The Lord said, if one people speak in the same language, they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. All right. Come, let us go down and confuse their language so they will not understand each other. So the Lord scattered them from there over all the earth, and they stopped building the city. That is why it is called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of the whole world. From there the Lord scattered them over the face of the whole earth. All right. Amen. Amen. I want to talk about a deliberate distraction. All right. A deliberate distraction. All right. Amen. Lord, please help me now as I preach your word. Ushers, you may be seated. Thank you for your service. A deliberate distraction. This particular scripture comes to us after the flood, after the waters had receded, and after there had been procreation through Noah, his family, and there were now people who were inhabiting the earth once again. All right. And these people had made it to this plain called Shinar. And they decided that they wanted to build a city. Wasn't nothing wrong with trying to settle someplace. And we all ought to get to a place in life where we want to settle down somewhere. I along with my family and my siblings, we have had the blessed privilege and at the same time a curse, if you would, of being able to live out throughout the United States. We have lived in, I don't even know how many states, and I certainly don't even know how many cities within states that we have lived over our lives. But we have had the blessed fortune or the curse, you might say. Because it was a blessing in the sense where we were able to live in places like New York, New Jersey, Louisiana, Texas, Alabama, Georgia, myself, Denver, Colorado, Arkansas. I've lived and traveled almost the whole United States of America.
All right.
And to a degree, it was fun while it lasted.
That's right.
And then to another degree, it was a curse because soon as you could develop friendships with friends, it was time to move again. And y'all ain't helping me up in here. I know because see, y'all, some of you ain't never really been out of Houston, and if you think Galveston is going somewhere, or you think the Southwest side is going someplace, but when you've gone places and by driving it takes you 2 days, you gone somewhere. And so after a while, I got tired of moving. And I was a young man, and I remember when we got ready to move from Trenton, New Jersey, I was so upset about the fact that we was gonna move. I ran away from home.
Amen.
And I didn't want to move.
Amen.
And I didn't want to come back because we were coming back to Texas, and I had got tired of packing up all our stuff. Amen.
Amen.
And moving, we were never going to Beverly. But we was coming to Texas.
Amen.
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 And finally, after traveling a lot, even in my adult life, and when I was before I came back to Houston a few years ago, I was in Colorado. I said to God, I said, Lord, I'm tired of moving.
Amen.
And you got to get to a place where you want to settle.
Amen.
Amen. Because you can travel the world and you don't have to live in all the places in the world.
That's right.
You can travel from wherever you want to go, but you can come right back to where you settled.
Amen.
But these people had found this place that they wanted to settle in.
All right.
And they decided that they were going to build them a city.
Yeah. All right.
Now, the scripture says that they said, come, let us make us some bricks and bake them thoroughly,
All right.
so that we can build a city and we can build a tower.
All right.
See, because in Mesopotamia, there was not any stone in that region.
All right.
And normally the temples or towers or even the pyramids were built with stone.
All right.
But because there were not any in their immediate vicinity and the region there where they were settling, they decided we're going to build us a city, and we're going to build it with brick and with mortar.
All right.
And that within itself, to any of the builders in that day, even in the Egyptians, they built the pyramids, they built them with stone.
Yeah.
And something to be revered. You knew the architect, and they almost knew the architect and the builder by what the material it was made out of.
All right.
So they decided that we're going to build us a brick city, And look at what it says. He says, they said to each other, come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly. They used the brick instead of stone and tar for mortar. Then they said, come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we can make a what? A name for ourselves. Now, the reason why they wanted to build it, not just to house people, but they wanted people to speak good of them and have their names ringing out throughout the country for what great things that they thought that they were doing.
All right.
And that's how it is a lot of days in a lot of churches and a lot of people, is that we do things not because it's in our heart to do it, but we do it because we want somebody to say something good about us.
Yeah. All right.
So our name can get out there.
Yeah.
And God is not concerned, Dana, about your name getting out there.
Amen.
He's concerned, Brother Nicholas, he's concerned about the purity of your heart.
Yeah.
Amen. If you're going to do anything for God, you need to do it with a sincere heart.
Amen.
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 Especially if you're talking about making a tower to reach the heavens, surely you ought to have God in mind if you're trying to reach the place where He is.
That's right. Amen.
We're going to just build this big city. We're going to build this tower so that people can talk and we can hear our name.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of things flop.
Amen.
Because you're trying to build your name.
That's right.
You're trying to build your credibility.
Amen.
That's how a lot of things don't materialize or come to fruition, because it's all about you.
Amen.
You're self-centered in everything that you do.
Amen.
I said this a couple of weeks ago. People, we get mad and we get upset when our name is, if they misspell our name on the program.
Yeah.
We get upset with the fact that our name they didn't even put us on the program.
All right.
But is the program about you?
That's right.
Or is it about Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
Is it about the God that you serve? And most folk that looking at the program and they mad. We was at a church here a couple of Sundays ago, and the lady, the MC was calling out the certain lady's name over there on the organ, and she said the lady's name, but because she didn't say the lady's her maiden name in her name, because she's hyphened something else, she said Jackson. Amen. And I said to myself, just look at that, just self-centered. Don't even want to, I won't make sure that everybody know your maiden name versus your last name. The last name that the man that marriage gave you is the most important name.
All right.
Not your maiden name. Folk trying to hold on and try to make people remember who they used to be. Forget that.
That's right.
Amen. If you marry, that is your name now.
All right.
We want to hyphen the last name
Yeah.
so that you can hold on to the identity of who you used to be.
That's right.
Y'all ain't helping me up in here.
Amen.
Amen. And then some folk holding on to 2 and 3 names. Their last name is Jackson, Thibodeau, Johnson, Wickleby. Well, how many husbands you done had? All them names. Amen. And I know some folk got a whole bunch of last names.
Right. Amen.
Because I know your mama didn't name you Jackson Wilson Huckabee. That means you was married to somebody all up in there.
Amen.
3 or 4 different somebody. And you got the nerve to try to hyphen it on the end.
Amen. Amen.
I'm trying to be good today. I was going to call somebody something. They were building the city.
All right.
Mitchell, the scripture says they had one language. If you remember in verse 1, it says that the people had one language.
All right.
And while they had one language, they were making progress on building the city.
All right.
Everybody could understand everybody. Everybody, the community, there was no breakdown in communication. But because of their selfish ambitions, the scripture says that the Lord himself came down and looked at their architectural plan.
Yeah.
And verse 5 says, but the Lord came down to see the city and the tower that the men were building.
All right.
And look at what the Lord said. The Lord said that if, as one people speaking the same language, they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them.
All right.
Don't you know that as long as we have one mindset,
Yeah.
one purpose, one goal, everybody is on the same page,
Yeah.
there is nothing that we won't be able to accomplish together.
Amen.
But these people had selfish motives. And God said, well, let me send into the land a confusion.
All right.
Let me mess with their language and give them all different languages, because until then everybody spoke one language.
Right.
It wasn't no Spanish. It wasn't no Creole. It wasn't no French. It wasn't no English. It wasn't no Swahili. Amen. It wasn't no Chinese, Japanese. It wasn't none of that until this day.
All right.
This day. That God gave to them all different languages.
All right.
And immediately they noticed a difference.
All right.
Because see, they were able to communicate, they were able to function, they were able to continue to erect the city and the tower. And as soon as God sent down different tongues,
All right.
different languages, different dialects, the work stopped.
Yeah.
Because when they were asking, when normally, Jordan, they were asking for a hammer, somebody gave them a shovel.
All right. All right.
When somebody asked for a shovel, they came up with a wheelbarrow.
All right.
Y'all ain't helping me
All
here.
right.
Because they were not able to understand and effectively communicate any longer.
All right.
And all of their efforts, all of their work stopped.
Yeah.
Because God said that I'm gonna give to them what they don't want. Y'all ain't helping me here.
All right.
Remember, they said we're gonna build us a city and we're gonna build us a tower so that our name can be great and so that we won't be scattered over the face of the world.
All right.
God comes and he confuses the language. He confuses the language, that the work ceases, and then it says that God scattered them all across the world.
Yeah.
And so that's why people ended up in what we call some of the third world countries, and even in Africa and Spain, people all over. They ended up, he spreaded them out all over everywhere.
Yeah. All right.
And he gave them their tongue, their native language, and he placed them together with one another.
All right.
Now, I don't know how you feel about it, but I even thank God for this experience.
Yeah.
Because sometimes God has to step in and put distractions in our life so that it can humble the pride.
That's right. That's right.
Oh.
That's right.
He have to come in with deliberate things and to knock some of us off of our high horses.
Yeah.
Because see, when we're able to do certain things, some of us, or when God has given us the ability to do certain things, some of us get kind of cocky.
Amen.
And we get kind of arrogant.
Yeah.
Amen. And we feel like that is, it's because I do it. Can't nobody do it better than me.
Yeah.
But I'm here to tell you, God can have you standing over there with Tweety birds flying around your head real quick, fast, and in a hurry.
All right.
And ain't no Tweety birds even there.
Amen.
Y'all ain't helping me. Y'all ain't helping me today.
Amen.
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 My mama says crazy as a Betsy bug. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower that the men were building, and the Lord said, if this one people speaking the same language, they have begun to do this, and then nothing they plan to do will be impossible.
All right.
So he says, come, let us go down and confuse the language, so they will not understand each other. So the Lord scattered them from there over all the earth, and they stopped building the city. That was the motive of God, to stop them from building the city.
All right.
But the motive was to make sure that man knows that you can't do anything without God.
That's right.
Y'all ain't helping me.
Amen.
See, some of us think it's because you got education that you're able to do the things that you do. You can't do nothing without God.
Amen.
You think because what you drive, you did it.
Yeah.
You couldn't have did that without the Lord.
Amen.
You think because you got a little change in the bank that can't nobody tell you nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't have what you have without God.
Amen.
And just because, just for the sake that you think that can't nobody do nothing better than you can, keep hanging around a little while longer. God will show you that there's somebody else that can show up and show out in front of you and make you look like a novice.
Amen. That's right.
And you've been doing it a long time.
Amen.
Y'all ain't never been here today.
Amen.
Oh, my brothers and sisters, we got to understand, he says, so the Lord scattered them from there over all the earth. And they stopped building the city. This is why it is called Babel. Because God made all the people, their language sounded like Babel. They were not able to understand anything
Yeah.
or anyone
Yeah.
after God came and confused the language.
Amen.
And I've seen this even in church. I've seen this even in ministry. These 28 years of pastoring, leading people, I have seen a spirit of Babel come into the church where it seemed like the more that we talk, the more we try to lead, the more we try to teach it, it seemed like that we sound like the teacher on Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah. Nobody understands what we're saying. We're trying to lead you and tell you right, and all you hear is wah, 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 wah. Because you don't do anything that we tell you to do.
Amen.
You don't do anything that the Lord tells you to do. It's because you have your own selfish ambition.
Amen.
Oh, help me here today. I'm almost done.
Amen.
So it says this is why it's called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of the whole world. It's a sad commentary when God has to come into the church
Yeah.
All right.
and confuse the language in the church.
Amen.
Because we forget all about who He is.
Yeah.
And anytime we forget about God and we put God on the back burner, even like I said this morning, it's hard for the church. It's sad that the church has to contend with football.
That's right.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen. It's sad. It's a skeleton crew. I promise you, it's a skeleton crew in most of the churches in Houston because this place, football is big in Houston. And folk, I know kickoff ain't till 6 o'clock, but there's some folks sitting there right now wiping their television off, so make sure the screen is clean. They don't want to miss nothing. Y'all ain't helping me here today. Maybe they expecting an early kickoff. They ain't trying to move.
Amen.
Y'all ain't helping me. I'm talking about deliberate distraction.
Yeah.
God deliberately sent down the distraction called confusion
All right.
to make sure that the people understood his power and his sovereignty.
All right.
When God comes on the scene, there ought to be a reverence of who he is.
Amen.
There ought to be a reverence of his power and his sovereignty and his majesticness.
All right.
Y'all ain't helping me here today.
All right.
And too often God shows up and there is no reverence of who he is. And God sometimes he have to do things to make sure that we understand who he really is.
All right.
I believe wholeheartedly, Brother Gilchrist, I believe wholeheartedly that's why Harvey, we had to experience Harvey.
That's right.
I believe that. I believe that God had to shut down the city
Amen.
and flood a lot of us out of our places because Houston had forgotten all about who he is.
All right.
Y'all ain't helping me.
All right.
And anytime you forget about who God is, God will show up in a mighty way.
All right. Amen.
He'll come. Yes, he will. He'll come to visit. Yes, he will. That he did it. He did it in the days of New Orleans.
All right.
They had forgot all about him. I don't care what y'all say. They had forgotten all about God. They were down there practicing all types of witchcraft. It's an unholy mess down there. And God had to show up even in New Orleans.
Amen.
Then he went over to Puerto Rico. Y'all ain't helping me. Then he went over to Haiti. Y'all ain't helping me. All of these places that God is forsaken there.
Amen. Amen.
Right about it.
Amen.
God have to show himself. And show you his power and show you his authority. And I don't know what God have to show Houston next. Amen. But if he have to show it, I hope that I'm not on the receiving end of none of it.
Amen.
Y'all ain't helping me up in here.
Amen.
Oh, because when Harvey came, I was all right. I remember just like it was yesterday. Amen. When I left my sister's house, we were watching. I don't know if y'all remember, but that was the Floyd Mayweather fight.
Watch the fight. Amen.
And I left my sister's house, and I had made the corner, and when I had made it around in the circle, getting ready to come out of her subdivision, I was in my pickup truck, and thank God I was in my pickup truck, because if I had been in my Mercedes or my Cadillac, I would have been underwater.
That's right. Amen.
Because the subdivision had already started to flood, and my truck nearby flooded out, coming out of there, but the Lord allowed me to make it out of there.
Amen.
Y'all ain't helping me from here today.
Amen.
And then I didn't understand, I didn't realize the devastation that the water would bring on the next day. But I was grateful to God that I had made it home.
Amen.
And subsequently, they had to get my sister out of there. They tried to get some of the people out on a boat. I don't know what she came out on a boat or ATV or something, but they got her out of there.
Amen.
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 God has to shake things up when people forget all about him.
That's right.
Amen.
And God will send, he will send not only to the world, he will send even to our families.
Amen.
When the families forget about who God is.
That's right.
Can I just go on and walk home with you?
Yeah.
When families forget about God, he'll come visit your family.
That's right.
I don't know who this is for today, but he'll come visit your family.
Yeah.
If you forget about him, he'll come visit you too.
Amen.
That's why there'll be frequent visitations within family. God comes in and plucks out a few.
Amen.
And so that the family can understand you need to get yourself together.
Amen.
You need to get your heart right. We need to come back to God. That's why we have a Get Back to God revival. But we need to understand that we ourselves need to get back to God.
Amen.
And as a family, God, I say this for my family, the Ross family, the Coleman family. God hasn't visited the Coleman or the Ross family in a long time. And thank be unto God that we must be doing something right that he hadn't come to visit us. But my brothers and sisters, grace is going to run out for everybody. Time is going to run out for everybody. God going to have to come visit sooner or later.
Yes.
That's why we got to be ready when the Lord comes.
Yes.
That's why we got to make sure we put ourselves in a position, my brothers and sisters, so that when God does come to visit, he's pleased with what we are doing.
Yes.
Can I just help you? Because when God shows up in our life, and surely if we got this building over here and it's been consecrated for the service of the Lord, and every time the doors open, it ought to be something going on in here that gives God praise and gives God that we pay homage to God. And God ought to not ever come to his temple and he find us out of order.
All right. Amen.
Y'all ain't helping me now. God ought to never come to his place of worship and find things out of order.
Amen.
Y'all, I'm going to say it one more time. God ought to never come to his place of worship and find things out of order. That's why he brings destruction on places that he find out of order. Y'all ain't helping me here. Can I just go back to Harvey? When Harvey hit, I've seen a lot of places, a lot of churches, even in our community, just 2 blocks down the road down there. When we came through, they had their furniture on the outside and they pulled all the carpet out over here at Mount Canaan right there before you get to the freeway. Were out of order for a long time. They couldn't even have service over there for about 6 months. About 6 months ago, they went back into their church. God, he'll have to shake things up when stuff is out of order. And here we are 2 blocks down the road from the church that flooded out, and we didn't get not one drip in here. Houses all around us were flooded, and God kept us. Y'all ain't helping me up in here. My brothers and sisters, we got to understand that God, he knows who's right and he knows who's wrong.
That's right. Amen.
And I don't care who don't like this, but you can stand up in here and try to act like you're this and you're that, but God knows your heart.
Amen.
And that's why I like when folk get up here talking about, God knows my heart. I'm glad you realize that he knows your heart. You can fool me, but you can't fool God. You can get up here and try to act like you got it all together and act like you God's best friend, but he knows your heart.
Amen.
He knows your heart. And since he knows your heart, he knows your mind.
That's right.
He knows what you will do and you won't do.
That's right.
He knows if you're really sincere or if you are fake and fraudulent altogether. Right. He knows everything about all of us.
Amen.
And sometimes, since God knows everything, he has to come visit us. And because if your motives and your ambitions are not in the right perspective, God has a way of putting you in check.
That's right.
Yes, he does. He has a way of putting you in check. There were many years that I was walking around out of order.
All right.
Yeah. I ain't talking about nobody. I'm talking about myself, so I can't get in trouble right here. Because when you out of order, God have a way. If you don't correct yourself, and some of us, when we're so caught up in ourselves that we know we're wrong, but we still act like we're right.
All right. All right.
We know that we sin. We know that we are displeasing God. We know that we're not doing right in the temple, this body that God has loaned to us, and yet we walk around like that. Can't nobody tell us nothing.
All right.
And then everybody is easily offended. We don't want nobody to correct us.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
I never seen the likes of so many folk that don't want to be told even the babies don't want to be told.
So
They get upset with you, and they 2 and 3 years old. You tell them to sit down, they
Amen.
no, I'm not going to sit down. Boy, let me tell you something. That's why the Lord allowed me to get my children on out the way. Because this generation here now, amen, I've been in caught a case a long time. Trying to raise some of these children now. They tell you what they ain't going to do. They tell you what they ain't going to eat. They tell you what they ain't going to wear. And when I was coming up, you didn't have a choice. The only choice you had when it came down to what you were going to eat, you had a choice to eat it or not eat it.
That's right. That's right.
Mama wasn't finna go to McDonald's because you didn't like Jack in the Box. No, you gonna eat
Yeah.
what's before you.
That's right.
And when she clean up her kitchen, you ain't going back in there.
That's right.
You had to ask permission to go to the refrigerator to get water.
Amen.
But these kids, they go in and they eat up everything. Y'all ain't helping me now. And when you tell them about it, they get an attitude with you about it.
That's right. Like they bought it.
And sound like, no, it wasn't me, but me and you the only one in the house. And I know I didn't eat it. You telling me the ghost from Christmas past came and ate? These children. Yeah. But we have to make sure that we are people that learn how to humble ourselves.
That's right.
So that God don't have to send down deliberate distraction.
Amen.
Yeah, so that God does not have to visit us in a way to bring us back in to submission.
Amen.
Because we ought to always submit ourselves and commit our ways to the Lord. And I don't know who this is for, but we got to understand, people of God, that low and humble is the way. Too many people in the church nowadays don't know what low and humble means. Because everybody has gotten this sense of arrogance about it. Amen. We're so arrogant until that we don't even care who know we sin.
That's right.
Yeah, we don't care who know we sin. We flaunting the fact that we sinning because we put everything on social media. Y'all ain't helping me today. You forgot. Yeah, you forgot why you toasted up on Facebook for everybody to see you with your Remy Martin bottle. You forgot that you were praise and worship leader. You forgot, you the drummer over there at the church. You forgot you were minister. Y'all ain't helping me over here. You forgot you were a deacon on the deacon board, but you're over there toasted up with some of the other toasters.
All right.
Don't let your toasting get you well done.
All right.
Somebody gonna catch up over there. Don't let your toasting get you well done.
All right.
And everything that's cool gonna end up getting you hot.
All right.
Somebody gonna catch that one on the way to the house too. Cause I ain't trying to be cool.
That's right.
Not in this hour.
That's right.
Not in this season.
Amen.
Because if you're not real, God is calling y'all. Check the obituaries. Look in the newspaper, or look on Google and Google Houston obituaries. Every day there's a picture and there's a write-up about somebody. You may not know them, and some of them you might do. But every day that lets you know that God is calling the road. And one of these days, my brothers and sisters, whether you know it or not, unbeknownst to you, your picture gonna be there too.
That's right.
And somebody gonna write up an article about you.
Amen.
I remember a couple of years ago when I flew out to San Francisco to do a funeral of a brother out there in San Francisco. I remember being there with the family as they were going in his apartment, going through his belongings, trying to find his insurance papers. And it dawned on me while I was sitting there, while the family was going through the papers of the brother, it dawned on me that one day somebody is going to be in my house going through my stuff, trying to find out where I've had this and where I placed that. My brothers and sisters, it's a reality that one of these days we're going to have to leave here.
That's right. That's right.
And here's the question of the day. Are you ready for when that day comes? Because no man knoweth the day nor the hour when the Son of Man is coming.
Yes.
But you need to understand, people of God, that he is coming back.
Yes.
And he's coming back for a prepared people.
Yes.
And I don't know who's out there listening to me this morning, but we must understand that God, Jesus said that I go to prepare a place for you.
Yes.
That where I am, there ye may be also.
Yes.
Thomas said unto Jesus, Lord, we don't know where you're going.
Yes.
And subsequently, we don't know the way.
All right.
Jesus said unto Thomas, I am the way,
Yes.
the truth, and the life.
Yes.
And no man can get to the Father
Yeah.
except they come through me.
Yes.
Now what that scripture suggests to me is that Jesus is the key to eternal life.
Yes.
And everybody in this day and age, people can wrap their minds around the concept of God.
Yes.
But people can't wrap their minds around the concept of Jesus.
Yes.
Because they don't believe that the Holy Spirit placed a baby in a virgin by the name of Mary.
Yes.
And you know, people are so perverted, and because if they don't feel like a man, she had intercourse with a man, it cannot be possible. But because I believe every word, the word of God is true. And so since the Holy Spirit placed Jesus in the womb of Mary, and 9 months later in Bethlehem, she gave birth to our beloved Jesus Christ. I believe that he is the key to eternal life. And no man can get to the Father except they go through Jesus. Well, what are you saying to me, Bishop? You need to accept Jesus into your heart. And you need to make a confession with your mouth. And you need to declare it before men that he is your Lord. Have I witnessed in this place? My brothers and my sisters, we need to understand that God will send deliberate distractions when we forget about who he is. You may be focused on your career. God will send what we call monkey wrenches. He knows how to throw a wrench in your plan when you're doing everything for yourself and forget about who he is. You got to acknowledge God every step of the way. Ain't the Lord all right? Come here, David. I remember when David, the Bible says, he danced out of his clothes. David danced like one of the bass fellas. But you don't understand why David really was dancing. Because prior to David, there was nobody who could get the Ark of the Covenant from the temple, from Obed-Edom's house to the temple of God without dying. Y'all ain't helping me here. But because of the anointing that was placed on the furniture, and if you wasn't right, if you touched the Ark of the Covenant, you would surely die. Ain't God all right? The Bible says that when David, he consulted with God, and he said unto God, God, I don't know how to move this religious artifact, this religious furniture from Obed-Edom's house to the temple, but you tell me how to move it. And the scripture says that when they got the furniture and they moved 7 paces, y'all ain't helping me here, 7 paces, and every time when he moved 7 paces, David stopped and worshiped God. Ain't the Lord all right? I'm here to tell you, when the Bible tells you how to get your breakthrough, you need to take heed so that you can be blessed. David, every time he moved 7 paces, he danced and worshiped the Lord. What am I saying to you? There's some of you that's been trying to do some things that seem impossible, and you haven't given God no worship and no praise. And that's why you cannot do what you've been trying to do, because you've been forgetting all about God. Yes. And when David finally got the Ark of the Covenant into the temple, the Bible says he danced all out of his clothes. Ain't the Lord all right? Yes! I feel my help now. David danced all out of his clothes, and then his wife, Michal, was looking at him from in the upper room out the window, and she was beside herself. She didn't like to see her king and her husband acting like he was a low fella. The Bible says one of the base fellows. And God all right. And while she despised him, she tried to correct him while you're out there dancing around like you are just a little peasant boy. And I heard David say, it wasn't your father who put me into the position that I'm in. It wasn't your daddy who anointed me. It was the Lord who brought me a mighty long way. And all since I know who I am, I'm gonna dance for my Lord. Is there anybody here that's gonna dance for your Lord? Yes! Yes! Oh, yes! Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I'm closing now. May God bless you real good. On my way, I said on my way to heaven, we got to learn how to worship God. But God, before you worship him, there's some prerequisites to worshiping God. God said in his word, he says, I am a spirit, and they that worship me must worship me in spirit and in truth. If you go worship him, make sure you got the right spirit. Make sure that your heart is pure, your mind is made up, and nobody can convince you otherwise. Yes, I'm glad that Jesus came down from 42 generations to save a wretch like me. I'm glad that Jesus died on a hill called Calvary. He died. Anybody know he died? Let me hear you say yes. 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 But the story don't end there. On the third day morning, y'all know what happened. He got up with all power. in his hand.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
All power in his hand.
Yes.
Be careful when God sends a deliberate distraction. That means that you've forgotten all about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he'll foul up your plan.
All right now.
Yes, he will.
Amen.
There are some of us who plan to do some great things, and you can't even get it off the ground.
That's right. That's
You
right.
can't even get nobody to agree with you with your plan
Amen.
because you forgot about God.
That's right.
Amen.
Amen.
And some of you don't know why. You got all of the reasons. You still can't make it happen.
That's right.
When you forget about God,
Amen.
he'll send a deliberate distraction.
Amen.
Every time you get some money, it got to go somewhere else other than what you wanted, that you set it out for.
Yes.
Deliberate distraction.
Amen.
Huh? Some of us miss the mark when we forget about God.
That's right.
We can't get back where we want to do because we can't never humble ourselves. Daddy told me if you don't fit, don't
Don't
force it.
force it. Amen. Amen.
Some of us try to force. We even try to force relationships.
That's right.
Yeah, we do.
That's right.
How you gonna force yourself on somebody?
I know that's right.
How you gonna make somebody be with you
That's right.
that ain't studying you?
Amen.
Huh? It's some folk that do that. Huh?
Amen.
You that desperate
Amen.
that you gotta force yourself on somebody?
Amen.
And I done heard folk come. I've had 2 people I know in my life that has come and told me that they wanted me to pray for somebody that was already with somebody else.
Shut up now.
How you gonna want somebody husband
Oh Lord, no.
What's wrong with you?
Crazy. Crazy.
And you want a man of God to pray with you about somebody else's husband. They ain't have no problem. They ain't separated. They ain't nothing. You want somebody to pray with you so you can have it. Lord, help the day. I told myself, you got to be out of your mind. You don't need to cover nobody else with somebody else's hand.
That's right. That's right.
Amen.
Amen.
And if you want you somebody like that, you pray.
That's right.
Can I help y'all? I'm going to throw this in for free.
All right.
Ladies, quit trying to find you a man.
I ain't looking for one. Amen.
All of y'all back there over in there, quit trying to find y'all a man. Quit trying to find you a husband. Because see, the Bible says he that finds.
Find it. That's right. Find it a good thing. That's right.
You just need to make sure you good when he get there. Yeah, I said something then. Make sure you good when he get there.
Amen.
Quit trying to find him. Amen.
Amen.
And the men, we got to pray
That's right.
if we're looking for one.
Amen.
That God put us in the path of the right one.
Amen.
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 Now, I had enough experience with the wrong one.
I know that's right. Amen.
Huh?
Me too. Amen.
Now I want the right one.
Amen.
Y'all ain't helping me up in here now.
Amen.
I said I had enough experience with the wrong one.
Amen.
I know what they look like. Because in this day and time, and I'm done, when you keep your eyes focused on God, He'll keep you from even lonely days,
That's right. That's right.
sorrowful days. Because the scripture says He'll keep you in
Perfect peace. Keep your mind stayed on Him.
those that keep their mind stayed on Him.
Amen.
The doors of the church are now open. There may be somebody here today. Jesus said today, if you hear my voice, Harden not your heart. Don't allow this day to pass you by, this opportunity to pass you by, knowing that you had it. You could have seized the moment, but you didn't. While the blood is running warm in your veins, you can come. If you desire prayer, we want to pray with you on today. Prayer is certainly the key to all of your unanswered situations. Y'all show
All right.
love what you can.
Amen.
I don't know.
Amen.
Don't allow the enemy to mess with your mind today.
Amen.
Because he is definitely the author of confusion.
Confusion. That's right.
And he don't want to see you have life and have it more abundantly.
Amen.
No, he does not have that desire for you.
Amen.
I promise you that.
Amen.
He only comes to kill, steal,
And
and
destroy. That's right.
And Jesus said, I came
You have life.
that you might have life
That's right.
and have it more abundantly. I'm going to go with the one who got my best interest
I
in
know
mind.
that's right. Amen.
It's a no-brainer for me. Because, see, I tried everything else. I tried everything else. I know what it is. I told y'all I know what it is to be high. I didn't drink enough for everybody. You ain't got to drink, even these babies. Y'all don't have to drink nothing. Take it from me. Don't drink nothing. It ain't even worth it.
Amen.
But the same thing I'm telling you, my mother and my father tried to tell me. And I went on out there and tried to figure it out for myself. And they were absolutely right. They were not wrong. They did not lie to me. But I had to go and try it for myself.
Amen.
But I want to encourage you today that it makes no difference what you've done. God is standing there right there with outstretched hands. Just like the prodigal son's father, when he had went out and spent everything and wasted his life, and he decided, I'm going to go back home. He thought his daddy wasn't even going to welcome him in, but his daddy was right there
Open arms.
to welcome him back home.
Amen.
That's what God is. We can go out and we can do a lot of things against God, contrary to his will and his way, and he's right for us to come on back home.
Amen.
How do I know? Because I did it too. And he welcomed me right on back.
Amen.
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 Will there be another on today? If you desire prayer, come on. We want to pray with you.
Amen.
Because, see, I know the enemy, he plays with us. He plays with us. From week to week, from day to day, he plays with us. He toys with our mind. He even tried with me, but I rebuked him. Ain't nobody exempt. He didn't even try to play with me. But I got enough sense to recognize him for who he is. And when it's all said and done, I'm on my knees and I'm talking to the Father. And he does make your days brighter. Will there be another? I want to pray, baby. If you got the faith to walk down this aisle, God certainly got the power to help you and deliver you. Amen. 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 All right. Thank God for all of these that have come. While I'm still here standing, if any others want to come, you come. Sister Benson was the first one to come, so I'm going to give Sister Benson first. She's of age and she can tell us in her own words